Quelques courriers jetés pour un patient venu se soigner. Des coquillages censés éclairer le passé et prédire l'avenir. Kadidia Toussana est une figure majeure de la voyance à Bobo Dioulasso. Son histoire avec les courriers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to History and Legacy Africa. Listen carefully. The land of Burkina Faso has begun to speak. While the enemies of Africa are sitting in their air-conditioned offices, plotting with maps and satellite phones, a different kind of power was gathering in the sacred groves and village squares of the motherland. The ancestors of Burkina Faso have spoken. After the recent coup that targeted the life of Captain Ibrahim Traore, the traditional leaders and spiritualists across villages in Burkina Faso have come together in a durbar to sound a strong warning. The ancestors are angry. A great durbar was held, bringing together the most powerful spiritualists from every corner of the land of Burkina Faso. They didn't come to talk politics, they came to talk to the spirits of the land. As the sun hit its peak, the high priests poured libation that soaked deep into the soil, calling upon the warriors of old, the Mossi kings, and the ancient protectors of the Sahel. They rained down terrifying curses on anyone who dares to lift a finger against Captain Ibrahim Traore. They declared that this is not just a man. He is a vessel chosen by the ancestors to take Burkina Faso back to its glory. Listen to this. This was the 40th attempt on Traore's life since he took power in 2022. 40 times the hyenas have tried to bite, and 40 times their teeth have broken. The spiritualists say this is not luck, it is divine shielding. They revealed that Traore is backed by the spirits of the land because he respects the ancient traditions of his people. Even though he is a devout Muslim, he has never turned his back on the African identity. He is the first leader in decades to declare an official traditional and spirituality day in Burkina Faso. Because he honors the roots are now holding him firm against the storm. The warning from the Durbar was clear and chilling. The chief spiritual priest of the Traore family made a sacred vow. He didn't use a pen, he used the call of the ancestors. He looked toward the horizon and sent a message to the plotters in exile and their Western masters. Those who wish to join their ancestors sooner should dare attempt to touch Ibrahim Traore. The people of Burkina Faso are no longer just supporting a president. They are following a spiritual commander. The youth are wild with a new kind of energy. They are ready to crush anyone who stands in the way of the man the spirits have chosen. The military have the guns, the people have the numbers, but now the ancestors have brought the fire. The coups will come, and the threats will come, but the spirits have already decided the winner. The captain has an army that no radar can detect. While the Western world talks about security details and bulletproof vests, the people of Burkina Faso know that Ibrahim Traore is walking with a force that comes from the beginning of time. Our sources confirm that the most sacred protection has now been activated. The African eye has uncovered a secret that has sent chills down the spines of the coup plotters. The man Captain Ibrahim Traore was named after, the legendary Kononba Traore, the chief spiritual priest of the Traore family, has come out of his spiritual seclusion. He did not come alone. He arrived with 300 spiritual warriors, men who have been trained since birth to communicate with the wind and the fire. These are not ordinary soldiers who wait for orders on a radio. These are men who hear the whispers of the ancestors before a betrayal is even planned. In a ceremony that lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, a sacred vow was made. It was sealed with blood, smoke, and chants that made the very trees of the Sahel tremble. Kononba Traore stood in the center and declared that a spiritual perimeter had been drawn around the captain. He gave a warning that is currently being whispered in every embassy and every hideout. Those who wish to join their ancestors sooner should dare attempt to touch Ibrahim Traore. This is not a threat. It is a spiritual law. Anyone who tries to harm the leader will find their weapons jamming, their eyes failing, and their own shadows turning against them. Traore's closest guards are more than just Cobra units. They are men who can read the skies and hear the sounds of the unseen world. They are the bridge between the modern technology of the Bayraktar drones and the ancient power of the African soil. This is why, after 40 coup attempts, Traore is still standing tall, smiling at his people. He is a Muslim who prays 5 times a day, but he is also a son of Africa who knows that the land has its own guardians. The 300 warriors have made their vow, and the spirits of the land have signed the contract. The spiritual border of Burkina Faso has been armed with ancient fire. As we dig deeper into the mystery of how one man has survived 40 attempts on his life, we find the answer in the sacred groves of our ancestors. This is not just luck, it is a spiritual lockdown. The recent Durbar was not just a meeting, it was a battle of the unseen. Our sources confirm that during this grand gathering, the traditional leaders did something that hasn't been seen in generations. They collectively rained down the curses of the soil on any traitor, foreign agent, or mercenary who plans to shed the blood of Captain Ibrahim Traore. They declared that the land itself would reject the footsteps of an assassin. They poured libation not just for peace, but as a spiritual landmine. The elders said, "If you come with a gun, the earth will swallow your bullets. If you come with a knife, the wind will turn it against your own throat." Burkina Faso is a land that honors its roots, even as it embraces the future. While the world is obsessed with AI and satellite weapons, the people know that the ancestors are the ultimate intelligence agency. Traore's success comes from his balance. He is a devout Muslim who kneels for Tabaski prayers with his soldiers, but he is also the first leader to officially recognize Traditional and Spirituality Day. Because he honors the spirits of the land, the spirits have made him their favorite son. He is protected because he is the bridge between the prayers of the mosque and the chants of the sacred forest. It is seen that even the captain's personal guards are not chosen by rank alone. These are men who see spirits. They can read the changes in the sky and hear the sound of a threat before it even crosses the border. They are the mortal shield for a spiritual commander. When the priest said Traore is backed by the spirits to take Burkina Faso back to glory, they were stating a fact that has been proven 40 times over. The hyenas can howl in the dark, but the lion of the Sahel is walking on a path that was paved by the ancestors long before he was even born. The blood covenant has been signed in the spirit realm. If you think the 1,000 commandos are enough, you haven't heard about the sacred 300. The African eye has uncovered the most powerful layer of protection around the captain. It involves the man he was named after, the legendary Kononba Traore, the chief spiritual priest of the Traore family. Kononba Traore, alongside 300 spiritual warriors, has made a sacred vow that can never be broken. This was not a press conference. It was a ritual sealed with blood, smoke, and the heavy vibration of ancient drums. They have placed a spiritual invisibility cloak over the captain. Kononba Traore stood before the nation and sent a message that made the plotters in exile tremble in their boots. He said, "Those who wish to join their ancestors sooner should dare attempt to touch Ibrahim Traore." This is why the world is shocked by Traore's miraculous escapes. Whether it is an insider betrayal or a foreign-backed assassination plot, the result is always the same. The killers fail and the captain survives. Why? Because you cannot kill a man whose time is guarded by the clock of the ancestors. The priest's warning is simple. To attack Traore is to declare war on the very ground you stand on. The spiritual warriors are not just guarding his body, they are guarding the revolution itself. The people of Burkina Faso are ready to protect their leader physically, militarily, and spiritually. The youth are wild with a new fire, ready to crush anyone who stands in the way of the upright people. They believe that as long as Traore honors the vow of the ancestors, no harm can befall him. The coups will come, and the threats will multiply, but they are all hitting a wall that was built by spirits. The West can send their air support, and the traitors can take their bribes, but the sacred vow of the 300 warriors is the final word in the history of Burkina Faso. Ladies and gentlemen, the darkness cannot overcome the light of the Sahel. We are witnessing a miracle in the middle of a war zone. 40 times the enemies of Africa have tried to take down the young lion, and 40 times they have failed. The African eye has looked into the why behind these failures. It is because the plotters are fighting with physical weapons against a leader who is guarded by metaphysical forces. Our sources confirm that every time a coup is planned, the spiritual intelligence of the land leaks the secret before a single shot is fired. The 300 spiritual warriors under Kononba Traore are said to be able to hear the heartbeat of a traitor from miles away. When the recent January 1st attempt happened, the plotters thought they had the surprise, but they found the commandos and the people already waiting for them. The ancestors don't just protect, they expose. They make the plotters talk in their sleep, they make their phones glitch, and they lead the loyalist forces straight to the hideouts. The West is frustrated. France and its allies hate the development in Burkina Faso because it proves that Africa doesn't need them to thrive. They have spent millions on mercenaries and air support, but they are finding out that you cannot bomb a spirit. They are used to overthrowing leaders who have sold their souls, but they don't know how to handle a man who is protected by the spirits of the land. Traore's life is a constant reminder that the sovereignty of Africa is rooted in something much deeper than politics. It is rooted in our spiritual connection to the earth. The people's faith is unshakable. They see the 40 failed attempts as a sign that God and the ancestors are with us. This is why the citizens flood the streets at the first sign of trouble. They are not just protesting, they are fulfilling their part of the spiritual contract. They are the human shield for the spiritual vessel. The military has vowed to protect his life, the youth are ready to crush the enemies, and now the spirits of the land have joined to keep the young lion safe. The hyenas are hungry, but the lion is already feasting on the victory that was promised by the ancestors. The future of Africa is written in the stars and the soil. As we reach the final stage of this spiritual and military struggle, we see that Burkina Faso has become a fortress of sovereignty. The failed January 1st coup was the last gasp of a dying order. The ancestors have spoken, the 300 warriors have taken their vow, and the young lion is moving toward the glory that was stolen from us decades ago. Our sources confirm that the 40th attempt has actually made Traore stronger. Each failure of the enemies is a victory for the Pan-African spirit. Burkina Faso is now a lighthouse for the entire continent. Leaders from across Africa are watching and wondering, how can we also connect back to our roots and find this kind of protection? The move to honor traditions and declare a spirituality day is sparking a cultural revolution that is scaring the West more than any missile. They know that an African who knows his spiritual power can never be colonized again. Traore is moving forward with the building of schools, gold refineries, and tomato processing plants, using state resources for the people instead of the West. The ancestors promised that he would take the country back to glory, and we are seeing it happen with our own eyes. The threats will still come. The hyenas never truly sleep, but they are now fighting a losing battle against the unified power of the people, the army, and the spirits. The captain is no longer just a man, he is a symbol of an Africa that has finally decided to stand up and walk. The conclusion is written in the blood of the covenant. Burkina Faso will win. The plots will fail, the traitors will be caught, and the foreign masters will be left empty-handed. The African eye sees a continent that is no longer afraid because it has remembered its own name. The spirits of the land have joined the fight, and when the ancestors lead the way, no army on earth can stop the march to freedom. The lion is awake, the ancestors are smiling, and the new Africa is here to stay. What we have seen in Burkina Faso is a revolution of the soul. For too long, we were told to forget our traditions and trust only in foreign ideas. But Captain Ibrahim Traore has shown us that our true power lies in the union of our modern resolve and our ancient wisdom. The 40 failed coups are not a coincidence. They are a testament. They prove that those who are for us are more than those who are against us. The 300 spiritual warriors, the sacred vow of Kanomba Traore, and the unyielding support of the youth have created a shield that no Western bomb can penetrate. We are witnessing the fulfillment of a prophecy, that Africa will be led by a new type of man who honors the past to build the future. The West are angry because they have lost their grip on the land of honest men, but their anger is our badge of honor. We must remain vigilant, both physically and spiritually. We must protect our leaders who dare to be brave, and we must never let the hyenas divide us again. The spirits of the land have spoken, the people have answered, and the path to glory is wide open. The ancestors are watching, the young lion is leading, and Burkina Faso is unstoppable. This is History and Legacy Africa. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, do you believe the spirits of Africa are finally rising to protect their own?